to the open class, AAA class competition. We have some yellow helmets there, so that could be the South Africa team. Savolo, is it? Well, we'll find out pretty soon.
Yeah, looks like Savolo.
It could be Savolo, which is the South African national team in outdoor competition. We have an interesting situation here with between Savolo and Jazz Republic, another team from South Africa, who have been focusing very much on indoor competition. We will see them later, hopefully, and this is the national team, and they try to beat them at indoor competition. They are already qualified as the outdoor national team for the Mondial Savolo. There they go, clean round, extremely clean. They competed at the Paraclete XP Indoor Championship in March, beginning of March, and were already extremely clean there. Well educated. Thomas Z was coaching them. They're going to another training camp in Arizona actually very soon. And so this is all live happening now. We're going through team by team in the order they're coming up with us. Chimera. Leslie, you probably know more about the British teams than I do. Who is Chimera?
I don't know so much about Chimera actually.
Let's take a look. There are so many British teams here. Of course, it's on their home turf that we don't know all the details about everybody. We have Sarah Ashworth, Laurie Hampton, Chris Judd, and James Wood. Oh, there's James Wood. That's his team. I see. So James Wood, Katie Wood's little brother, who is just as passionate about four-way competition as her sister, his sister is, and she actually is a reigning bronze medalist at the four-way outdoor competition from Proseo of Katie Woods, and her little brother James, we just saw him fly with Chimera, a new team, a new lineup. Next is VooWho. Do you know VooWho? Leslie, VooWho, interesting lineup again here too. A good story behind it. Alright, here we go. VooWho is actually, if you replace the who with a do, then we have the national team of South Africa of years ago. That's VooWho members who are still coming back. Dave Sumter is still in the lineup. Actually, let's see who. I'm not quite sure who else of the VooWho members is a former VooWho. Oh, Dennis Parker. Okay, Vanna Parker's husband. Vanna we just saw with NFTO in the female category, former VooWho member, and her husband Dennis is in this lineup here with.
Yes, and I believe Colin's come back. He's been he went to China or something.
Colin is with Jazz Republic now. So that's the other South African.
We have a lot of South African.
Colin. They all kind of
between the teams. Yeah.
Only Savolo is kind of more or less consistent, if you can say. So although Debbie Lamsley, she was also with British teams, I think with Vision 99 first, and now she is back to her roots with the South Africans. But let's look at the next one, ACM. Also, we see a reigning four-way world champion in this lineup, Mr. Roy Jansen. He is actually player coaching ACM with also a
which was also Debbie Lamsley's team. She gets around a bit.
Former one, yeah. So, but Roy is in there. They hired him as a player coach. Harry, I think he is in the blue suit.
Yes, with the loud booties.
Yeah, that's his new color, blue. Roy Jensen in what's the slot there actually? He is in the rear piece, the center inside probably, I guess. And ACM, other than that, is with Mark Fletcher, Harry Ganapathy, and Gareth Hicks. Interesting.
Who is Anna Hicks's husband, who we just saw in NFTO, was very incestuous little world we're in.
A lot of family connections here with all the teams, and a lovely thing to see. Not only husband, wives, we have fathers and children, and the tunnel is now allowing everything, for family connections, family teams, friends, and so forth. And here's Barguzin. We have more world champions in this lineup. That's the Russian team that was formed, I believe, last year. And Sergei Shenin and Vladimir Pavlenko are the two former 8-way world champions in this team, who have also been competing in four-way with Barkley for many years. Bronze medal winners in four-way in 2010. And here they are as player coaches for a new Russian team, Barguzin, who are also moving on a pretty high speed, and we have as their teammates Alexander Gorin and Nikolai Lastoshkin, who are the sponsors of the team at the same time. That's a Russian tradition. The Russian system works like that. They have world champions, and some people who can afford it, they hire them and fly with them, learn a lot, go up very quickly, and it has been for years the system in Russia. Works very well. Vision 99 is gone. No 99 anymore. What happened to Vision? Different name. The 99 is gone, which stands actually for an airplane, right? Vision for Beach 99. So,
well, I think again we had a change of lineup with the team members.
Okay. What happened? What's the change? Let's look at the round for a second, so we get familiar with that. It's a technical round with 2 blocks, the memory block, 10 diamond. Oh, Steve Hamilton is actively involved there again. He's player coaching. I think he was already coaching the team in the past anyway, but he is flying for Steve Hamilton, former XR member. There he is on his back. Former XR member, which was the UK national team for many years ago, with Thomas Hughes and Pete Allen, and all of them still active, and Steve Hamilton as the Vision player coach now. And here comes the one and only US team in this competition, SDC Rhythm XP. Here they are. Also probably one of the top contenders for the medal rankings here at this meet. They have been chasing down Arizona Airspeed for a while now. They have a new lineup with 2 former Carolina Turbo XP members, Andrew Happick, the point, and Doug Barron, the tail. And only Andrew Happick is actually back in his original point slot. Everybody else is in a different slot. Janet moved from center outside to center inside. Steve Lefkowitz from point to center outside. That's the best round we have seen so far, but that was to be expected. Very strong lineup, still in the hunt on Arizona.
Must be very frustrating to lose Mikhail to Airspeed.
Some people call them the farm team for Airspeed. Which is not really fair, because it gives kind of a negative impression, which it is not, because in any sport, the top team in any sport tries to pick the best players that they can get from the next best teams, and that is Rhythm so far. So it's just bad luck, but no bad intention, I believe. Here's another medal contender. We're seeing actually all the best teams now. That's the Qatar Tigers. Amazing progression over the years now. First guided by Luc Verstrepen from the basics pretty much, to world class. And now Jeremy Rollet, the former French national coach, has taken over the coaching.
In the door there.
And he continues to bring them closer to the top of the world, and I see them as one of the bronze medal contenders at the Mondial this year. They are all AFF students of 2000. This team that we just saw flying, AFF students of 2008 Indyland. I saw them, all of them. It's an amazing story. Here they are, becoming world-class four-way competitors, and we may see them in bronze medal contention later this year. But they are also, of course, in the hunt for the money here at the World Challenge. And there's Thunder ISR, another incredible story. Gosh, I cannot stop talking, Leslie. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Thunder ISR, the most passionate four-way competitors in the history of the sport, probably, an amateur team. They all have jobs and everything, world class by now. Guided by the wise man, Sven Evans, who has been in the sport for so long, former Hayabusa member. Wonderful person, and the heart and soul of the team, for IPC delegate, formation, skydiving committee, everything that you can imagine. His wife is in Anneliese is in the Dutch national four-way team, Extremo, and here they are, Paul Hofstede. All of them have been around forever. Actually, Jacko and Wesley are the newer members, the younger ones, and they seem to be happy. they deserve it. They deserve a happy round.
Yeah, they've had the same lineup for getting on for 10 years.
Same lineup.
Which is, I mean, they get a medal just for that in my opinion. It's hard to keep a 4-way team together, especially for so long.
Yeah, and the NSR calls them the unofficial world amateur champion, and I think they are. So amateur champion because now here comes in. We haven't seen the French open class team in a while. So here they are, with a new lineup that was put together after the last World Championship, and that is with Laurence Hervé, who was in the French female lineup. They're going extremely quick. That's by far the quickest pace we have seen so far.
And this was the team that Laurence left to join the open team, and then the girls, the flying girls, actually beat the open team, didn't they, at the Clash of Champions? So.
Yeah, the female team has been a little bit ahead of it. They're going neck to neck, and you can see they're fighting for their life to yes. to keep up with the girls.
We've got France flying girls are coming up next. They originally entered the women's category, and then they chose to change category and enter the open, which I've never seen a team do that at the World Challenge before. They just automatically put you in the female category if you're all female.
Right, and they switched actually. They first when the Golden Knights cancelled the trip. The French fly-in girls moved to the open class competition where they feel more home now, and here they are. Look at they're taking probably almost like half as much space in the flying chamber than the other teams do. They are skinny and not super tall compared to the South African teams, and that's a big advantage. And they look like less energetic than the open class team, but very efficient, and technically they look actually more educated as it looks. Although they have the same, now they have two different coaches. The female lineup is actually coached by Mathieu Bernier, and the open class team by Marin Ferré. So they have two different. Of course, Mathieu and Marin are also following similar technical histories, but you can see a difference. Interesting. The French flying girls look really cleaner, I have to say. I don't know what you saw.
Yeah, surely that's just because they skydive like girls.
They're girls, right? So
we all know that.
Yeah. And here's Black Cat. All right, there we go. Another. We have all the teams. Somebody lined them up actually in a way that they fit, that they all come in a row. That's good. I like that.
That must have been you, Kurt. Did you do a bit of the seeding there?
But here they are. Black Cat actually also medal contender with. How many? With 2 world champions also. So that is actually Vasily Korotkov. He is one 8-way world champion of 2001, 2003 or so. And then we have Yevgeny Stashenko, also 8-way world champion. And the Black Cat has been around for a very long time as well. They have not won medals yet at a world championship, world meet, but they are on their way. Valentin Ilin and Alexander Kwashua, a young Airbus pilot from Russia, is in the lineup. He was in the Black Cat lineup already when he was 18 years old or so. So he's been around for a long time, highly talented, and we're expecting a lot to come from the Russian national team, which it is now. Tenanine, Martial Ferré, so that's your turn now. Martial Ferré is in that.
Yes, and Marco Arrigo.
That's right.
And Tenanine is the only is a team from Mauritania. One of the guys is the only civilian skydiver in Mauritania, apparently.
And that's Moulay Abbas.
Yes. And Moulay has a plan. He's got the 2 amazing player coaches there. They're looking for a long term, for a 3-year plan. It's going to be amazing to see what they can do. They've already come from nowhere and putting a very nice average on the board.
That's a player coach team the other way around. Interesting. They have usually a player coach team is a coach and 3 players, and this one is 1 player and 3 coaches. So I like that. I'm jealous. I would like to have a player coach team like that.
Yeah, we'd all love to if we had the money. Good for you, Moulay.
You need a little change for that. Yeah. Satori XL, the British national team, with a comeback. They have been hibernating for a while, and here they are back in action, and it's wonderful to see that. And
well, they haven't really been hibernating. Jules has had a baby. No, it doesn't tend to take one out of the field for a while.
Yes, and it's a good reason to hibernate. And she is also kind of the manager, the heart and the soul of this team, Jules Swallow. But what is also interesting here, we have a little reunion between two XR members. John McIver has been with Satori for a while now, but Pete Allen had excursions to Italy, Spain and other places, and now he's back to his roots, XL, and he is there with the green helmet, Pete Allen, and John McIver works in the center with him.
Yeah, I think it's just great to see him on the same team as Jules, as Julia was Foxwell, now Julia Swallow, because Pete was he was her mentor when she started off. You know, he was her absolute idol coach. So to see them now on a team together, you know, flying at the same speed is brilliant. I'm really happy for her. And
who would not be happy to? I did 6 rounds with Pete Allen last year at the Shamrock Showdown, and it's just unbelievable. I mean, he is such a peaceful soul in free fall on the ground everywhere. The gentleman in the sport, Pete Allen.
So here we have Weerbl Parasport from France, which is they have a different lineup at each competition. The Weerbl. This time we have Julian Olek with Mathieu Bernier, who's been competed with them before. Perrine, who competed with them, I believe, in the Aerocart competition.
She's a reigning 4-way world champion in women still, so that's a pretty cool.
And Thomas Perrin. And this team.
Well, Wemby, let's stick a little bit with Perrine. She also took a little break after the World Meet and had a baby in the meantime. So she's also a fresh mother, like I think her baby is like half a year old. She was the leader of the world champion team who won in 2014 in Prosteyov. And she stepped back, you know, and 2 of her former teammates are still continuing with the French girls now. And she is now with Wemby, and it's so good to see her back in the air too. And here they are. Okay, NMP PCH Hayabusa. Leslie, take it.
Well, this is the team we all believe is going to win. It's just a shame Airspeed aren't here to give them a good fight, but we love Hayabusa and we know they're going to push themselves.
Yeah, that's the same lineup that we saw last year. It's new too. It's not the same lineup that was winning the last World Meet and who are the reigning indoor and outdoor world champions. Bob Girong Nollet is new in there for Roy Jensen, who we saw earlier. He was the tail for the world champion team in 2014. And Bob is now in the same slot, in the tail slot. And they still have won every meet so far with a new member, and that's quite impressive. And they will win here, there's no doubt about it. The only question is, will they also win again this year against Airspeed at the World Championship?
So what's your money on then, Kurt? Do you think they're going to win again?
You never want to underestimate Arizona Airspeed. So yes, I would put my money on Hayabusa probably now. At this point in time, when I drive to Chicago or fly to Chicago in September, I want to see a good battle, and I think we will see a good battle. And so
I find it a surprising decision that they're not here. I know but if their goal is to win,
they're scared
in Chicago. Their goal is to win. Well, surely it would make sense to come and try yourself against your competition.
Yeah, yes,
even if it hurts, and even if you're going to get beat, because we all know Hayabusa do excel in the channel. I really found that surprising. No,
but I mean, if they come here, they know they will lose, so that there's not a question mark behind it. So they simply save the money, and they say they are focusing totally on outdoor competition. They did not go to the Paraclete meet the first time in many years. You know, they always go to the Paraclete meet, but they came to the Shamrock Showdown because it's an outdoor competition. So it makes sense. It's logical. Whatever they have said so far, you know, and their reasoning is very understandable. They wanna win the gold medals in Chicago, and that's all that matters. So, you know, World Challenge. They haven't been here actually in several years now. Last time it's like 4 or 5 years ago, and the whole focus is on outdoor competition, and that's why they're not here. And I somehow, you know, it's sad. I would love to see them here, but this is a different year for them. They have a new lineup, and they have to work really on the most important things, and so they skip that. Sad not to see them here, but I understand.
Yes.
Heroes and zeros.
For those of you out there who may be wondering why the teams are playing in a strange order, then the first 20, if you like, the upper 20 in the seeding are going first, and then the lower 20, both of those in crescendo order. The reason for that is because we want the judges to be able to get the scores out fast enough so that we can bring them to you, the viewer, before we go into the second round of free fly. So a slight change in the running order, just in order to bring their scores to the people at home, hopefully before we go into the next round.
No, that's a smart move. I didn't even know that, but I think that's very good. So we can watch them and get the scores early.
Yeah, so it's basically team sort of 17 to 1 going first, and then team 36 to 16.
Yeah. Yeah, we're seeding them. We have seeded them in the past, really in the power ranking order, and that has changed here a little bit for a good reason. And we still have it in power rankings in a way, because we see them. Oh, there was a little grip switch there. So that's Helios. We're still looking at the other teams, and we want to give them as much attention because they are delivering just great performances on their own levels. That is Helios with Phil Jenks, Paul Scott, Paul Sema, and Carolyn Vaughan. Also a team without a history, newly formed for this competition.
And next up we have our second American team in the competition, Paris
Oh yeah, I forgot. How could I forget Christy Frickin? Is she on Dauntless or is she on the other lineup? Is that Dauntless coming? Christy Frickin is here. I saw her earlier.
Yes, I saw Christy. I didn't know she's in this team, because normally it's Dan, Jason, Stephen, who just got married, and Lynn.
And Christy Frickin
so
is
is Christy in there for them as well? I don't think so.
And she is still the reigning. She owns the highest four-way score ever in history, and which was scored here in Bedford in 2010 or 11. I don't want to lie. Yeah. So that's Paris Fury, the team that she was on for, which was also chasing Arizona Airspeed, and that is the lineup that scored the highest score ever.
I don't believe she's in this team though.
It doesn't look so, doesn't it? No, that isn't.
I don't see anyone looking like
Paris Dauntless, but she is listed with that team, so maybe
she's listed with them.
Yeah, I have her.
Maybe she's their player coach.
Well, we'll see her. She is here. We know that.
Yes.
So she will come at some point. There's another US team actually with I forgot those two player coach teams.
There's also a team called in one of the other categories. It's a SDC remix or something.
Okay, yeah. So maybe we'll find her there. So if not, then we're going to ask her. Or actually, we will get her in maybe here in our studio later on and speak with her a little bit. She is holding. But we cannot miss this now. The AAA class team of the French junior four-way team, which is the Aerocard Academy project that former Deep Blue member François Simon and Amélie Thiermang are running this together with national coach Marc Ferré in Paris at the Winter in Paris. And those are just, I think they're young teenagers. It's probably
they're Astrid, who's 14, Killian, who's 14, Nicholas, 15, and Camille, 13. This is the team that's been in the project the longest.
Yeah.
I think they're 2 or 3 years into it now.
And that's exactly what we talked about earlier. Now the indoor competitions, and they allow everything now. It's so wonderful to see that. Now it's kids can fly. Now the French group has 3 teams in 3 different categories on all levels. Then you see family teams like the Bisson family in Canada, and we have all kind of French family connections. The fathers are in Monaco teams. Some of the fathers are flying with the Monaco team here. So it's fantastic to see all that. So.
And here we have Amnesia from Italy, who's brought in Max Alberti at the last minute to be a player coach to fill in for them. The other team people are Antonio Nardelli, Chiara Brunetti, Giuseppe Cosu, and, as I say, Max Alberti, who's just started a whole new website, indoorskydiving.com, which is basically trying to collate everything that you've ever wanted to know about wind tunnels all over the world. So go to indoorskydiving.com, that's a little plug for you, Max. And he's putting some great articles out as well, really interesting stuff.
Yeah, and that's one of the up-and-coming teams in Italy. They have already every year, every meet where we see them.
Oh, next we've got, is it my favourite, Monaco?
And there come the fathers. So we just saw the sons and daughters. I don't know. I have to look into all the family. So they are swinging the sequence. They just saw the.
So there's two of regular Monaco and two ringers. How come we're not getting the famous Marlborough suits?
Well, you know, it's a fun lineup that changes all the time. So they
I've just never seen Monaco competing without their red.
Who is in
there
this time? This time we have Nicolas David and Victor Formentin, Stéphane Matouni and Jeff Ronzeval are the ones in the red suits. They are actually former French 8-way competitors of the 70s, where they won some medals for France in 8-way, and they are also amazingly coming. You know, have been back. Took a little break for several years, and then they decided no, it was too much fun. Why stopping this? They cannot do 8-way, and they have an 8-way lineup too. You know, they have a 4-way lineup and an 8-way team. But they go to the tunnel competitions for the 4-way meets. Lupus, the Estonian national 4-way team, have also been around for many years.
Time.
Yeah, and come to the big meets and go to the world meets. They were, I think, in Prosteyov as well. So having a great time. I haven't followed the lineups and the changes of Lupus in a while, but they have a few original members still in the team. And Estonia, a small country of the former Soviet Union in the Baltic states, I believe it is, somewhere there, and it's great to see teams from small countries. You know, there's not a lot of skydiving in Estonia, but they have a 4-way team coming to the big meets, and that's fantastic. So and
yes, they're really a very good standard.
Lupus.
So next we have Funnel Vision from the UK. Funnel Vision are Georgie Marsh, Harry Hill, Lizzie Carroll, and Matthew Wilson.
And this is all happening live. This is really happening right now in the flying chamber. The beginning of the competition. There was a little early break, so that the judges will probably not like that. It's happening right now. Later on, we'll look at the judged rounds, which then we see already what the judges had to say about what we see now. We'll have the scores and the infringements, and so that will change later. But right now we had complete live coverage. And that was Funnel Vision, one of the many British teams, but not one of the many British teams, which is really true. But I cannot believe, the countries that I see. I mean, France, United Kingdom, of course, Finland, Belgium, Mauritania, South Africa, Qatar, MC, Monaco, of course, Estonia, Czech Republic, Ireland. It's just amazing. There's hardly a country missing. Let's see, who else do we have here? I guess I almost covered them. There's another one, Portugal, of course, the Atmosfera guys, Italy. So amazing, the different. It's definitely a world championship, and
the Butterfly World Challenge has always had a great draw of international competitors, and this year it's especially good to see so many international competitors further down the scoreboard in the AA and the single A categories. We have a good number of foreign teams, which is great that they make the effort to travel here. They probably wouldn't travel here if it was for skydiving. Their chances of getting the jumps in might not be so great, but it's brilliant to see them come here for the tunnel competition.
Phoenix looks very good in the tunnel. I think Phoenix is one of the teams. I think I remember I looked it up, and it could be that this was the first is the first indoor competition for them. It's an British outdoor team actually, Phoenix. Now there's one. They did the Revenge in October 2014. So not the first one, but haven't been much around at the indoor meets, and they did also the World
Challenge. I believe the team that's in now is Skyfool, not... yes, that's better.
Skyfool.
They hadn't corrected from the Phoenix. Yeah, this is Skyfool. presumably a pun from Skyfool. Having a bit of memory problem there going into the...
They have two sisters in their lineup, don't they? Twin sisters. Isn't that the team with the twin sisters?
Ah, Victoria and Bex.
Yeah, so there's a story behind that too, right? And we're on the national team for a while, is that right? Or on a team that was trying to
They wanted to be on the national female team. That was the project with Sarah Smith. And from memory, they did the nationals and then imploded shortly afterwards.
Okay, so but we don't have a lot of twin sisters in
No, we don't.
That's pretty special. And there is HFO from Ireland. Of course, we have an Irish tradition here. They don't have to travel that far to come here. H4O, I haven't. That's also a team that we have seen actually at last year's event. They were here. Had a 16.2 average at last year's World Challenge. I don't know if it's exactly the same lineup. It is exactly the same lineup. So I think this is probably the strongest Irish team that the green country, the green island, has to offer at the moment, and it looks good. H4O. I'm hoping that we will see an Irish team at the World Meet again. I don't think we had one in Prostějov. All right, so that's Ireland.
Yes, I believe we're going to go now to the judging of the four-way, the judged rounds of female